Hey guys, back again. So I think this is going to be a fast video, or as fast as I can make it, with of course trying to explain everything that is going on. So remember that inside the Vue Firebase, okay, the Vuejs app we built before, we are not showing the process that is taking place, or the progress of the file as it is being uploaded. Okay, so that is what we're going to do now. We're going to change all this so we display the progress of the file. But as I said, I will use kinda of the simplistic approach that we might use with this kind of apps, not installing RxJs, which should be the best option in order to keep all these separated, but we're going to do it the Vue.js and kinda React.js way. Okay, so let's delete that handle and let's just delete these two, create and update, since those two are kind of the same. Now let me just create a new one. So let's just start with this async. Create post, and let's just do it like that, and create another one async, and this one is update post. Okay, so that should be it. So I think also in the update we weren't deleting the past file. I can remember actually, I just deleted that, but I just didn't see. But we're going to do that of course too. So let's actually go. Okay, so this one is already set, we don't need anything there. Let's go to AddPost. Okay, that is the one. Let's close these ones. So we just focus on the AddPost. So let me just go there. And what I'm going to do is just add a new paragraph. This is just to show you, you can just edit this later. Of course, you will get the files. If I don't add them, just let me know so I can add them into the description. So sometimes I just forget about this, and you just need to remind me that we don't have the files there. So okay, what I did is just adding this uploading file with the file progress, which is not there. Okay, let me just move outside of that block. So it's going to be below the is disabled. Let's save that. So here, let's just remove all except this one. Let's just do this. Comment this out. No, I didn't want to do that. I know there's a shortcut for this, but I just can't remember. So let's say that is disabled true. It's going to disable the button when we click, so we don't send the request twice. Okay. So of course we will need this event prevent default. Let's paste it back there so the form doesn't reload the page. And we're going to do what we did in the handle update, which was a function that I just deleted in the config or Firebase service. So let me just get all this, copy and paste it. So we're going to define, I didn't want to, okay. We're going to define this variable d. I'm not sure if you can hear something that is, I think it's a blender from the neighborhood, the neighbor, I mean. So sorry about that, guys. So this variable let d, or this d is going to be empty, just to define that. So we're going to define this constant storage ref, which is going to be the reference of the storage inside Firebase. and then the storage child, which is going to be the new post cover name. Remember that this is going to get the reference of the file, so you can upload that to Firebase. Okay, and this storage child is going to actually upload the file. Okay, so we're passing this new post cover, which is new post and the cover. Okay, so we're passing that, and that one, remember that is going to be set when we click the handle file, or when we trigger that, which is being triggered when we click this input file, when we select a new file. Okay, so that is done, and that should work. After this, let's say await. Why is not await a new promise? So we're going to resolve this in later, so we can just move on. So let me just copy this first part. I know there's a problem there, but let's just move this a little bit. So we have this, let's just keep it there. Indentation is not a big deal anyways. So post cover on, which is the actual part that is going to upload the image. So we're going to check the state change, which is going to retrieve us the update state of the progress as the file is being uploaded. So this file progress is going to be equal to that progress. Remember that we just set a new paragraph that is interpolating that value, is displaying that value. So after that, we can just set an error here, whatever error you want. Okay, I copied that comma, that shouldn't be there. Okay, we are just going to console that. And we're missing one more, which is the async. Let me just copy this and paste it. I'm doing this like this, copying and pasting, because it's the same functionality we had in the upload file. I just had to move it here so we can just display the file progress as we are getting it. Another way is to set an observable using RxJs, but we're not going to go through that because observables are a little more complicated, and of course I'm coming from Angular, so I know how to use observables, but most people that are starting with Vue.js and React don't know how to work with those, and could get a little complex. So this is the success. Okay, this function is the success. For that, we're going to get, or inside that, sorry, we're going to get the specific download URL that this is going to retrieve us. Okay, so we specify, or we set this variable d to be that download URL to store that. We can console that, and we resolve, so we can move to the next part of the code. So after this, okay, what we need to do is just to make some room there, define, let's just move this so it's kind of indented. Let's not worry too much about that, so you can just only see the difference between what is going on. So we define a new underscore new post, which is going to be an object, and the object is going to have the two properties, title and content, which are coming again from the form. Okay, so we are getting this content and this title. So what is going to happen next is that we're going to create, using this information, the new post. So we have the Firebase. Let me just copy all this because this is just the same. We're going to use kind of the same that we have here. Let's just move that, indent that a little bit. You know, every time I just try to record, there's someone making some noise. Well, or I record at 1 a.m. or I do it like this. So if you can hear something outside of the, you know, recording, some noise or something like that, sorry guys, but I just want to record this thing so we can just move on, because the channel has been stale for so long that I just want to push things to the channel so people can just get them. So we're going to create now a new post using the create post that we have defined in the Firebase config that we just define again, okay, which is not there actually. So I just need to get this is the same to false. Okay, we don't need that because it's going to actually redirect us to the main, so it's going to be set as false again when we go back, so we don't need that. Okay, and yeah, we're going to catch any error that happens during that. So let's just save this and let's just go, and you can see we have this upload file. That is the only change we can see there. Now you can just style this so it displays when you're uploading. Anyways, this button is going to be disabled, so the user will not be able to perform any other action. So that's just a matter of just styling that and showing it as you want. So let's continue. Let's go back to the config.js, which is going to take the new changes. So let's get, okay, let me just first set this. We're going to pass inside. Let me just make this bigger in case you cannot see that good. So Firebase create post is going to get two parameters. The parameter D, in this case, which is going to be the file or the URL, and the new post, which is going to be, they even tell you, the let_new post with the title and content properties. Okay, so we're going to kind of merge these two as we move inside the config.js. So we're going to use the constant file reference, which is going to await for the storage reference URL. So we're going to get this kind of string and define the URL on which that specific file is, so we can display it. It gives us a URL, but we need to get the reference of that file using that URL. Okay, let's even say return reference for the given absolute URL. So that is the file that we're going to use, or the URL that we're going to use inside the div, so we can display the background, the image. Then let's just copy and paste this. The new post is going to have the next properties: title, content, cover, and file ref, which are going to be stored inside the Firebase database, okay, the Firestore. So we're going to extract, or we're going to get the post title, the post content, the URL, which in this case I forgot to add here URL and post, something like yeah, is actually that. So the URL is the specific URL, okay, and from the file ref we need to get the reference of the URL so we can get the path, and this is the actual name of the file that we're going to use to delete. Okay, and after that we just return this the Firestore collection post and the add. So we can actually use then inside this, or await, or whatever you want. So, or you can just even add it inside a promise. So that should work actually. So let me just save this and move here. So this should refresh. One thing that I don't like, let me just do this. One thing that I don't like about this Vue CLI is that sometimes it kinda bugs, so it doesn't compile. And I'm not sure if that is a problem with the version that I'm using or whatever, but that is something that is not actually good, because you might be testing and you see that your changes are not being taken. Okay, you don't see your changes displayed and you might think, oh, I have an error, but it's the freaking console that is not compiling, or is taking longer to compile for whatever reason. So just be aware of that. It's better to, if you make a big change, to just cancel the process and restart it so you can start clean again. So let me just find a freaking image. This one maybe. Okay, so let's say testing something, whatever, and just take a look at what is going to happen here and create post. You can see, you can use a mat trunk in order to do that. It's going to redirect us, and you can see the image that I just added. Okay, with all that. Okay, so I think I'm going to keep this one like this video as this short, and update in the next video just to see if the recording is okay, or you know, with all the noise that has been happening in these minutes. So we're going to work with the update. Of course, guys, again, let me just go to new post. You can use mat trunk to truncate the decimals. Sorry. And you can just style this. We can even style that in the next video so you can see better. So I just want to make sure that the freaking noises are not getting too loud inside the mic. I have the noise filter, but I'm just want to make sure. So I'll see you again in a bit, guys, and thank you.